With Beat the Computer, students put in their pre-test and a post-test writing piece into the computer. So at the beginning of the unit, students will enter in their writing prompt into the School AI chatbot. Once they do that, they're going to be given a score and some feedback. Students will typically maybe score between the 2, 3, or 4 round. That's where my students were scoring. And after they did the post test, due to the collaboration, the mini lessons, looking at exemplars, and the instruction that was done to support their writing and using School AI Spaces, my students then were performing at a higher level, and they were actually scoring 8s, 9s, and 10s. And we have an Ohio State test that uses AI to score that writing. And so they were prepared for that test where they were again scoring pretty high on that test, where in previous years they did not. And so right here is the template that I used. And so you can see here that you would insert the writing prompt here. I went to the Ohio State test and grabbed just a sample writing prompt, and I just paste that writing prompt right here. On the test that I was using, we were comparing 2 different articles. So based on your grade level, based on what you kind of grab, you might only have 1 article, or you might have 2 different articles. You might also want to upload any rubrics that you have. You can see here I have my scoring criteria, but in School AI, you can also attach a rubric right into the space. And so once you do that, students then enter their writing and they are given a score and some feedback on why they scored the way that they did. And so I'm able to go into schoolai.com, and once I log in, I'm able to come over here to create a space. I want to create a student learning space. Once I create a student learning space, all I have to do is copy, and I just copy this and then I paste it right into Dot. Now, this is where I would come in and update my articles. I would insert my writing prompt, but this little paperclip right here allows you to upload those files. So maybe you'll have that in a document. Instead of say insert writing prompt here, I could say see attached PDF. You can also attach a rubric as well. And so once you're ready, you hit send, and then Dot might ask you a few other questions. And again, depending on this activity, if I'm helping my students in the fall, I might have additional more scaffolds in this space. However, if I'm having my students complete this activity at the end of the year, I might not want all of those sentence starters and helpful hints. I really want to see how my students are performing, kind of with that raw data that they're inserting like they would on a state test. So again, it kind of depends on that time of year, but I just come in here and I'm able to answer the question as they come up. So I can say students will be adding their own writing to the space. And then I can also say if I want a certain feedback style or tone, I can also kind of share any strengths or weaknesses. And again, I'm able to really kind of go through and customize this space to support my students. And here's where it's kind of going in through scaffolds and how my students should be given that feedback if there's anything that I need to avoid. But this is where I'm able to have maybe additional scaffolds. And again, I usually do that at the beginning of the year, but then towards the end, I remove those scaffolds away. So once the students are in, they can enter that space, upload their writing, and then they're able to grab that pre-test score, and then they're trying to beat the computer, beat that score by the end of the 2 weeks or however long you have of training your students to do that. And again, you can do this multiple times throughout a year. So maybe you do it once a quarter, or maybe every semester. You can decide how you want your students to beat the computer. But they had a lot of fun and a lot of collaboration along the way.